Take out your notebooks, class, because today I'm going to be giving you the ultimate guide to anime tourism. Seriously, you might want to take notes. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Allison and I have been living in Japan for years now. And I have been an anime otaku basically my whole life since I discovered what the internet was. I moved to Japan to live out my anime fantasies. It's kind of a joke, it's kind of not. And today I'm going to be sharing with you my secret advice to being the ultimate anime tourist in Japan. I have garnered a lot of knowledge in my time here, a lot of it through Japanese only media, just experience, and spending a lot of money on stuff. So I'm not going to be focusing on niche kind of gimmicky things, which are fine, but it's just I want to talk more about how actual people who live here actually do anime otaku kind of things. And this video is going to be applicable to any fandom because of that. So make sure you watch to the end of the video where I'm going to share my favorite anime activity kind of thing. So throughout the video, I'm going to be using the term anime to describe not just anime, but also manga, and to a certain extent video games and kawaii characters like Hello Kitty. I'm dividing the video into sections. So first, I'm going to cover locations, where to go, mostly to shop, anime cafes, which is highly requested because I go far too often. And then finally, I'm going to be covering anime tourism, which you'll see more about later. So first off, where to go? Tokyo is a large place. Japan, even larger. Where do you shop? So before we get into locations, let me tell you some general facts that I think are going to be good to know when you're shopping here. First, secondhand anime goods are very common. When I first came to Japan, I did not realize that a lot of what I was buying was actually secondhand. It does say in Japanese, sometimes in English, if it's new or secondhand, but Japanese secondhand goods are seriously, they're usually in very, very good condition, like new. So for these stores, it's kind of hard to pre-plan, but I think going into secondhand stores and digging through all the stuff of your favorite series and then finding the treasure you want is so good. So I'm going to be focusing not just on Akihabara, but also Ikebukuro. So Akihabara is for boys, while Ikebukuro is going to be for girls. So firstly, Akihabara. So this is really the birthplace of otaku anime subculture here, growing out of what used to be a thriving electronics town. It still is, but there's a lot of anime now, mostly anime. It's hard to recommend stores actually because I really think you should just wander around and go in wherever you want. There are literally probably in the hundreds of anime stores in Akihabara. So Akihabara does have a main street and is lined with tons of anime stores. And actually on Sundays, they do close the road to car traffic. So it is a pedestrian party zone. I don't know. Okay. So you're probably wondering, Allison, what makes it for men? So basically, Akihabara caters towards male interests. And by this, I do not mean shonen anime like Naruto. I mean harems, ecchi, cute girls, dirtier things. It's not just what Akihabara is by a long shot, but there is a lot of it here. So be warned, especially if you're with children. However, it's not just all that stuff. There are a lot of mainstream things and things even marketed towards women. And really, I recommend it to any anime fan who's never been before because it is just so iconic and there's so much there. It's definitely worth a visit. So although I do recommend, of course, just wandering around, here are some stores I think you should put on your list. Radio Kaikan. It's one of the most iconic stores in Akihabara. It was heavily featured in the Steins Gate franchise. It is 10 floors. It is packed with tons of little anime stores, in addition to other otaku interests like trading cards, dolls, I think I saw race cars, everything. Another is Super Potato, which is a retro game store with tons of stuff from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. And if you're looking for something rarer, they probably have it. Mandarake Complex. Mandarake is a chain. However, this one is really big. I think it's 8 floors. They have lots of used things, older things. You can find some real hidden gems if you're looking for something a bit rarer. And probably my favorite is Rashinban. This is also a chain, but the Akihabara one is my favorite. They have a lot of secondhand goods, and this one has a lot of things geared towards women as well. And I'd say it's more family friendly than some other stores. I would check out all the stores in this building though, especially the 4th floor. There is a great little rental box kind of store where people can get these boxes to sell their used anime goods. So there's a lot of really good figures in there for really good prices. It is very fun just to look at. And here you basically write the numbers of the boxes of the things you want, and then you hand it to the staff. Okay. Anyways, that's Akihabara. Ikebukuro. While Akihabara is for the lads, Ikebukuro is for the maidens. Literally because there is an area called Otome Road or Maiden Road. Ikebukuro is much more highly skewed towards female otaku interests, and you can actually even pick up like a physical map of Otome Road. But to keep it simple, here is a map I found online. I couldn't find an English one, but it's just basically this pink highlighted area is the main one, but there's actually, you see all these other numbers. These are all anime stores in the area. If you are looking to go to Otome Road, just an easy way to find it is going to the road right in front of Sunshine City, which is a very large mall. I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. Yeah, it's awesome. I love it. I feel safe. I feel seen. It is very nice. Okay, so some specific stores in the area. There is a large Animate in Ikebukuro. And in 2023, they are going to open up an expansion that's gonna like more than double it, I think, in size. I'm very excited. Animate is a big chain actually all over Japan. You could find it in like any city. And of course there's tons all over Tokyo, even in Akihabara, but this one's very good, especially for the ladies. And this store focuses more on new goods rather than used. Next is K-Books, which is also a chain that you could find all over Tokyo. But something to keep in mind about not just this store, but some other stores, retail space is limited in Japan. Spaces are tight, and that means stores had to be creative. So K-Books, especially in Ikebukuro, they're gonna have different departments for the different genre of goods they're selling. So for example, there is just a single store that only sells Shonen Jump related merchandise. And then there's another one that only sells idol goods, etc., etc. They're just scattered all over Ikebukuro. This is also secondhand, but they have some really good stuff. Next, there is also a mandarake here, but this one is special to me because it has so many good BL doujinshi. If you're not into that, don't go. But if you are, it's great. It is hard if you don't speak Japanese, like to figure out the sorting system, but I would just go and get them. And then Sunshine City, which I mentioned earlier. So Sunshine City is what makes Ikebukuro a destination for all anime fans, basically. It is my favorite mall, not only because it has some very good, cute, fashionable clothing stores that are on trend here, but because they have a ton of anime stuff. So off the top of my head, there is a large Pokemon Center. Great Pokemon Center. A Pokemon Sweets, a One Piece store, and a Ghibli store. There's more than that, but that's just some. So that's Akihabara and Ikebukuro, but really anime shopping can be done all over the city. For example, there is Nakano Broadway if you want some more older, rarer things. It's kind of far from me, so I don't go. There is a great Surugaya in the Marui Mall in Shinjuku. This is another chain used anime goods store. And somewhere I go all the time in vlogs is the Shibuya Parko Mall. It is currently the location of the only Nintendo store in Japan, though they are gonna open up one in Osaka soon, but it's only one in Tokyo. So you have to go if you like Nintendo, right? And they also have a Pokemon Center, a Capcom store, and other stuff. There's a lot of stuff in there. But yeah, a lot of what I mentioned are chain stores, but honestly, just go in anywhere you see something interesting, it'll be fine. Go. Shop. Okay, I spent a lot of time on that. We're gonna go through eating anime cafes. I go to these worryingly often. I do, I have a problem. So I'm gonna separate this into 3 different types of cafes. 1, permanent cafes. These are like normal restaurants. They are going to be there for many years until they go out of business. And examples include the Pokemon Cafe, which you should go to, but it is very hard to get a reservation for, and the Rilakuma Tea House. Permanent cafes are pretty common for characters, not so much for anime. Next, pop-up cafes. These are the ones I go to a lot. So these are limited time cafes, usually 2 or 3 months. They focus on one specific anime, and usually you have to make reservations. And then 3, collaborations. So by this, I mean real restaurants and cafes that have limited time tie-ins with anime. For example, right now Burger King has a Spy Family collaboration. They have like a peanut butter and jelly hamburger or something. I don't know. Most of these don't require reservations, some do. So a lot of people always ask me how I find out about these. Honestly, it's like almost all through social media for me, like Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, etc. So follow me, because I go a lot, and other people, you know, through hashtags or whatever. But a more consistent way, which I think is what you want, is a website called Collabo Cafe. It is in Japanese. I don't think there's English. If there is an English website that does this, let me know. But don't worry, if you're using Google Chrome, download the Google Translate extension. If you don't have it already, it will translate the whole page for you. And it's pretty good. So this website It has like an encyclopedic knowledge of all collaboration events, not just cafes, but also like stores and just everything, but it's mainly for the cafes. Now, notes on these anime cafes. So information is usually only released about a month or two prior to them opening, so you can't plan too far in advance. Some only release information like a week or two before. Second, for the ones that do require reservations, which honestly is most of them, it's hard if you don't speak Japanese. The reservations are online, but a lot of these websites do require you to make an account, put in credit card information, and I think if they're gonna accept your foreign card is kind of hit or miss. But if you really find a cafe you're passionate about, you should definitely try. Also, anime collaboration cafes can be very intense if you don't speak Japanese. They're intense for me, and I speak Japanese. For example, a lot will require you to write in your order on a piece of paper they hand you. They're gonna give you like the menu and the paper while you're waiting in line to enter, and you have to decide on your order right there. Yeah, I think it's totally worth it if you have a series you really love and they happen to have a cafe going on. Try it. And you can find English information on the permanent cafes like the Pokemon Cafe. There are guides online for that. Next, my favorite category, anime tourism. I know that's what the whole video is about, and anime tourism applies to everything I just said, but this is more specific. So let's start out with some more standard destinations like museums, theme parks, etc. These are just some. I don't know all of them off the top of my head. Let me know down below what I missed. So we have the Ghibli Museum in Tokyo, super popular, a bit difficult to get a ticket for. Google it, there are guides. And they will be opening up the Ghibli theme park in Nagoya in, oh my god, like a week now. I failed the lottery to get tickets, so I don't know when I'll go. That's probably gonna be very hard to enter for a few months at least. Next, Awaji Island has an anime park with several different anime themed attractions like Naruto. There is Fuji-Q Highland, which is a theme park like right at the foot of Mount Fuji, and they often have anime collaborations. And I think they have a pretty permanent Naruto area and an Evangelion ride. And then there's also a lot of like rotating museum exhibitions. Like recently there was a Sailor Moon one, and before I've been to like a Cardcaptor Sakura one. So what a lot of visitors from abroad don't really consider or they don't know are anime seijujunrei, or anime pilgrimages. So basically anime pilgrimages are pilgrimages in which the anime locale, the setting for the anime, is the holy site. A well-known example of this in Tokyo, for example, are the stairs from Kimi no Na wa. And Tokyo's great, and there are a lot in Tokyo, but really the best places to go are going to be more rural outside of the city. And this is what I really recommend you do if you're looking to get a taste of more like real Japan while also trying to keep something in your interests aligned, you know? So some are gonna be like super rural and you're gonna have to like overnight trip it, but there are actually a lot within a day trip of Tokyo. So just for example, there is the anime Anohana, which made me cry like a baby. And that is set in Chichibu in Saitama. I actually went earlier this year, and you can get to it by express train from Ikebukuro Station pretty easily. Also, A Place Farther Than the Universe is set in Gunma. That's also pretty accessible. And both of these locations I just mentioned, they have maps, they have guides, they have signs, they have special goods, they have a lot of stuff aimed specifically at anime tourists because it does help their economy. And if you're looking to go somewhere where there's not going to be that many overseas tourists, like you're sick of Kyoto or whatever, this is a great way to find places to go. I mean, how many overseas tourists do you think are going to Gunma? Not a lot. I didn't even know where Gunma was until recently. So there's something called the Anime Tourism Association, and every year they put out a list of the most like desired anime pilgrimage destinations where people want to go. And this list is voted on by both Japanese fans and overseas fans. And it is compiled into 88 locations. It's every year, so it changes all the time. And this list is a really great way to see like what is out there. And for each place, they have information, they have links laid out. The only problem with the list is that because it's updated every year, sometimes like some older but still popular places get kind of kicked off, like Kimi no Na wa was. But if you have an anime you really like and it's like set in Japan, not like fantasy Europe or whatever, then just Google like anime pilgrimage, anime name here. Yeah, as I said before, this is a great way to support rural communities, see real Japan, escape the tourist bubble while still being Otaku. Okay, that was actually a very abbreviated version of all I could say, so I might make another video about this in the future. Let me know down below if that's something you're interested in, or if you have any other advice to give like fellow anime tourists down below in the comments. Let me know. I'd love to learn more. Make sure you subscribe to my channel for more content about my life here in Japan, my anime adventures, which are frequent, too frequent. And let me know down below also if you learned anything new this video. All right, I'll see you guys back here again next week as always. Bye!